Keep on the talking, marching up to freedom land. Ain't gonna let no injunction turn me around, turn me around.
Good evening, church. Good evening, virtual church. Haven't quite figured that out yet, how you can see me, but I can't see you. But they tell me here at First Baptist, you can virtually do anything. But that ain't what I came to talk to you about this evening. My name is Cora Lee Jenkins from Birmingham, Alabama, 16th Street Baptist Church. And I came here this evening to take you back in time, not to stir up hatred or not to stir up any feelings that don't line up with the Lord. But I just want to take you back in time with my experience. See, and is it all right if I get a little emotional? See, I haven't told this story in a long time. I was asked here to come and tell the story, so I'm going to tell it the best that I can. It was December 15, 1963, in Birmingham, Alabama, 16th Street Baptist Church. See, I was a member there. And see, 16th Street Baptist Church was the cornerstone of the civil rights movement. See, what some of y'all might not know, Birmingham, Alabama was the most segregated state of the United States of America. See, we had Dr. Martin Luther King. We had Ralph Abernathy, Fred Shuttlesworth. We even had two of your finest from this here area. And one, I believe, attended this church. That was the Reverend Dr. Wyatt T. Walker and Reverend Dr. Curtis from over there in Hopewell, Virginia. See, they was activists, and they were coming to Birmingham, Alabama, to the 16th Street Baptist Church because, see, we had the largest basement. And see, that's where they was meeting. It was meeting for the Southern Christian Conference Council. They met for the Freedom Riders. See, that's where they trained the children and the teenagers and the college-age students. They trained them there in that basement to be peaceful fighters. Children were about your age, son. Yes, about your age and about your age, sweetheart. It was much different than it is today. So, on that day, it was a normal Sunday morning. Well, see, as normal as could be because it wasn't nothing normal. In Birmingham, Alabama in 1963, it got so much hatred and violence, they was calling it Bombingham. Bombingham. They were bombing churches, homes, motels. The Gaston Motel was bombed a couple weeks before because Dr. Martin Luther King was staying there. And see, they didn't like it because the civil rights movement was moving. We was getting our civil rights, and they didn't like it. They did not like it. So on September the 15th, 1963, It was terrorism. See, they don't want to call it that, you see, but it was terrorism. The Ku Klux Klan. I remember it was chapter 13, the most violent Ku Klux Klan chapter in America. They were right there in Birmingham, Alabama, see. They planted 15 sticks of dynamite under the steps of the 16th Street Baptist Church. One stick of dynamite will uproot a tree trunk. 15 sticks of dynamite. It was just a regular old Sunday. I came up the steps, and as I passed the steps, I noticed the 4 little girls in the ladies' room with their white bows on, white patent leather shoes, and the white and purple robes. See, it was Youth Sunday. And see, then it was excitement in the air because they got to act grown, you see. And anytime these children get to act grown, they likes to do that, you know. But it was for a good thing because they were leading the worship service. Then I looked over and saw my grandbaby. I'm not picking favorites, but my grandbaby she was pretty. Addie Mae Collins, yeah, that was my grandbaby. Looked over there, looked like a little angel. I said to myself, my grandbaby gonna do something for this one. She gonna do something. She gonna leave her mark in this world. That child was something else. Yes, I looked over, it was Cynthia, Denise, Addie Mae, and Addie Mae's sister, Susan. Denise, let me see now, Denise, Carol, Cynthia, and Addie Mae, and my other grandbaby, Susan. Susan came on behind me, wanting some candy, always want some candy from Grandma. So we went on upstairs and took our seat, getting ready for service, because I had to get upstairs because Sister Hattie, she won't move over. So you got to get your seat. I know y'all don't have that here, but there you had to get your seat because some folk just don't move over. And I didn't feel like all that bustling around saying, excuse me. So I tried to get my seat early. And it was about 10:58. We got ready to rise for praise and worship. And the whole ground floor shook. The whole ground floor shook. The chandeliers came down. Stained glass windows shattered. A piece of glass shattered right here in my hand. Blood was everywhere. The congregation was screaming. I screamed so loud, I couldn't even hear myself scream. "16th Street Baptist Church pushed us out of the church. I got outside that church and all I could think about was my grandbaby. The Sunday school lesson was from tragedy to triumph out of Romans. I wandered back into that church, still smoke. Still smoke, the smell of dynamite. It smelled like rotten eggs. I still smell it to the day. I wandered back into that church. I wandered back into that church. Looking for my grandbaby. Looking for my baby. Blood gushing out of my hand. I had to find my baby. I walked in there. It was awful, awful act of hatred and violence in the church, in God's house. I got back into that church. My babies, white bow, her white shoes, and a white and purple robe. And that's all we had. It was an act of terrorism. See, they were trying to stop the movement. But see, sometimes what the devil tends for bad, God turns it around for good. After the world saw what happened, people rallied together and it galvanized the civil rights movement to the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So I say to my senior saints, keep talking to your grandchildren. Tell them the stories. My mature saints, make sure you talk to your children. Make sure you're registered to vote. And my youth saints, take your education seriously. Because there was a time where we couldn't go to school. And now, you have that opportunity. Go to school and get your lesson. This might not be your story, but it's our story. And that day, Pastor John Cross, he never got to preach it, but his sermon was titled, "You Did It to Me." You see, it may not have happened to you directly, but it happened to us all. Keep up the good fight. Don't let my grandbaby's legacy die. Or the other little girls that lost their life that day. Keep that legacy alive. Keep it 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 alive. We've made a lot of progress, but we still got a long way to go. So keep the good fight. Keep the good fight. Keep the good fight. And thank you for inviting me here today to speak on my experience of the 16th Street bombing in Birmingham, Alabama.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking,